Can the Waspi women afford to sue the government over pensions? I'm going to read into this piece from the iPaper, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article here from the iPaper with the headline that can the Waspi women afford to sue the government over the pensions? Waspi is taking the government to the High Court over Labour's minister's decision to reject compensation. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. This is a risk. This is a gamble from the Waspi women, and my position is I generally hope and believe that, and I believe this is in their interest to do this, but I also risk it comes with great risks as well, because evidence seems to be on the side of the Labour government, according to them. But for me, there's a moral point of view here, a moral compass, and that is that when this Labour government came into power, and how they dealt with how they basically brought funding needed for all these for all the scandals that have been taking place, and to leave out the Waspi women, one where they basically consistently backed them, consistently supported them, and give them all their blessings and whatnot, all the way up to the run up to the election, only for Labour to kind of stab them in the back now that they're in power, just feels wrong. And it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right that this issue has not been addressed. It's not fair for these women. The argument, of course, is that they were all well aware of the changes and whatnot. Like, you guys stood by them. You had photos of them. You smiled. You tweeted about them. It just doesn't sit right with me. Now, whether or not suing the government over this, whether it will work or not, is a big risk. And I honestly just don't know if it's going to play out the way they want it to. So, a group of Waspi women have cleared a major hurdle in their bid to pay for the costly legal action against the government. The Women Against State Pension Inequality, that's Waspi campaign, have secured a cost capping order, which means the group will have to pay the government no more than £60,000 if it loses the case. Waspi has taken the government to the High Court over Labour minister's decision to reject compensation, despite failures to properly inform women that the state pension age was being raised. The group wants compensation for about 3.6 million 1950-born women who had expected to get their state pension at 60 but had to wait another 5 or 6 years, and that's not right. The way the system was done, I know, like, I just want to make this very, very clear here. The way it should have been done was gradually. Year by year, you close the gap, not a big jump. That I've always said this. What they should have done is close the gap every single year to go right up to when it was level. That would have been much better to dealt with this situation. Campaign chair Angela Madden told the iPaper she remained very confident that she can win the lawsuit and push Labour ministers into coming up with a payment scheme. So how is Waspi going to pay for the legal case? The Waspi campaign is crowdfunded to pay for its legal fees. The group has raised just over $220,000 so far for its judicial review action, but is aiming for another $50,000. The cost capping order has helped limit Waspi's legal liabilities, having to pay the government no more than $60,000 if it loses. But the group still wants supporters to help it reach its $270,000 target to pay for bills for their lawyers, Blindsman's LLP. The government has initially refused to any capping in legal costs, but it changed its mind and conceded on the issue ahead of the scheduled court hearing on Monday. Madison says she was relieved at the concession, saying unlimited legal costs would have put the Waspi Women's Group at risk of bankruptcy. She added, without this safeguard, we face a real risk of financial ruin, or effectively being silenced by a threat of a government's legal bills running into hundreds of thousands of pounds. Madison said women have been very generous in raising legal funds, adding, it's not just Waspi women, it's supporters in the wider public who care about this injustice. So has the Waspi women tried to sue before? Yes, they have. The Waspi Group enjoyed some legal success in the past. It raised £120,000 from supporters for a favourable action against the parliamentary watchdog at the High Court in 2023. The Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman, the PHSO, had been investigating the way the government handled the rollout of the high kid state pension age for women. The Ombudsman did not initially accept the Waspi women had suffered financial losses, but the watchdog changed their mind after campaigners launched a judicial review. Setting out of court, the PHSO conceded they had made flawed calculations about the impact of the changes on women. PHSO went on to produce a damning report which found that the Department of Work and Pensions, that's the DWP, had committed maladministration by failing to properly inform women of the age changes. This is what the report had said, okay? The Ombudsman recommended compensation payments between $1,000 and $2,950 last year, which Labour ministers rejected in December. Not all legal action has pushed the compensation fight forward. A separate pension campaign group called Back to 60 unsuccessfully took the government to court in 2019. The High Court dismissed the claim that the state pension aides had discriminated against women. I think it did because of the way they did it. Like I said, the way they should have done it is not just literally jump from the age that they would claim it to the same as the men's. It should have been done on a year by year by year basis. What they should have done is, the way they should have done the system was increase it by 1 year, then increase it by another year, then increase it by another year, basically over time. That means you are minimizing the amount of women who are suffering as a direct result. Yes, it would have been more paperwork and it would have been more of a headache, in terms of the pension for those working in the pension system, but we're talking about for the well-being of women here. What is the Waspi Women's campaign chances of success? Work and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall said the £10.5 billion compensation bill recommended by the PHSO would not be fair or proportionate to taxpayers. But the Waspi women and their lawyers said that ministers' reasons for rejecting compensation are unreasonable and therefore unlawful. Independent legal and pension experts have said even if the Waspi campaign were to win the case, the High Court would not force the government to pay compensation. Madsen accepts the point that judges cannot force ministers to pay. However, she said the court was being asked to rule on a narrow issue of whether the government's decision-making had been reasonable. We fully believe we will win, said Madsen, who thinks a legal victory could create enough political pressure to force a U-turn. We want all MPs in the Commons to support us because if the government is found to have acted unlawfully, we hope it will allow members to vote on compensation. DW spokesperson said the government did not comment on live litigation, and they said the department does not agree with the Ombudsman's approach or to injustice or remedy, and that's why we've decided not to pay compensation. So whether they will win this or not is going to be difficult, guys. It's going to be very, very difficult indeed. But even as it says there, even if they win the case, there's no guarantee the government will change their minds on this. And we're talking about a huge amount of money. I'm still on the personal belief that they should be paid this compensation. So like the infected blood scandal, like the post office scandal, these things should be put to an end. You know, you need to organise the compensation in doing so. I understand people will argue, well, we don't have money lying around and whatnot. Yeah, I understand that, but you know, the Conservatives also had 14 years to do something about all this as well, but they chose to sat on that as well. It's not a case of, just give them the money and be done with it. You need to understand these women have been badly mistreated. They were mistreated because of the change that was made to the state pension age. They jumped it up and they missed out a huge chunk of money from the state, from the government because of it, and they were not properly informed of it as well. The government at that time made a colossal error when it came to it. They should never have done it the way they did, in my opinion. But maybe some of you guys disagree. Maybe some of you think that the Waspi women are just trying to peck out for more money. Maybe some of you guys think that the government are right in this regard, or maybe some of you in the comments agree with me on the situation. But let me know all these thoughts and more in the comment section down below. Now, if you found this video informative or helpful, hit that like button, share it across social media, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, and also if you want to financially support me in the work that I do here, you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member for as little as 99p. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.